Hello, top of the day to you, and thank you for tuning in to watch Lock Up House, an initiative of Quadripoint Communications. Our idea is to bring in the parliamentary candidates, all of them, so that there's a contrast of ideas before the August 13 elections. My name is Mwenda Lubi Maombi, and today I am happy we're shooting from Leo's along 217, along with your Tunya Road. And also, this episode is particularly broad compliments of Sally Apartments. Today, we feature the first parliamentary candidates on our series from the NRPUP, Mr. Mapulanga Kalungu. Thank you for coming and welcome to Lock Up House.
Thank you for the invitation.
All right, so we would like to know, beyond politics, who is this person that would like to be Member of Parliament for Maramba? And Maramba being a new constituency. So if you're elected, you would essentially be the first parliamentary representative for Maramba. Yes.
Exactly. I can't wait to be the first, like you have put it. Thank you so much for the invitation and for this interview. This is Mapulanga Kalungu, the last born from the family of 8. Mom and dad passed on. So we are now 7, the firstborn in our family also passed on, the one who raised me actually. And he was my godfather. You know, in our church, when you're being baptized, you need to have a godfather. So my older brother was my godfather. This is a gentleman who loves Livingstone. This is a gentleman who has children who have grown and they have left me because they are staying by themselves. And this is a gentleman who has been in love with politics for a long time. I've worked with the late Michael Chupchasata, I've worked with the late Edgar Chagwarungu, and I one time belonged to MMD when I was young.
Oh.
Yeah, that is 1990, 1991. That time I was in Chilenji and Lusaka. I loved MMD. And I have an incident that I've never forgotten. Okay. You know, that time when UNIP was about to go, so there was those white caps they had. I wrote MMD this side and MMD this side on the UNIP cap. And who did I meet? Mr. William Banda, the famous William Banda. He looked at me and said, "Oh, this is nice." Then he called me very, very near and slapped me. I've never forgotten. I know he may watch.
Why do you think he slapped you?
Because he was a vigilante for UNIP. You remember those guys were lethal. They were very lethal. So I never forget that instance. But it's also, it was already in me, though I was young, that I loved politics. And after the formation of PF, definitely I jumped on board because Mr. Michael Chirufyasata, he gifted a house to my elder brother. Okay. And we were staying in that house in Chilenji. So I loved the fact that he was eloquent and he was a unique politician. So I became an ardent follower of Michael Chupchasata.
Okay.
Yeah, so I grew
professionally.
Professionally, I am a journalist by profession. I've done also public administration and political science. Okay. I've done marketing as well.
All right.
And 3/4 of my works have been marketing. I've done marketing with radio stations, with Barclays Bank, MTN, Zamtel. By then, Celtel, those days, when I was managing up to Monze. I've been in marketing, something that I've loved. So my kind of life has been interacting with people that has given me a life, that has given me a career. Okay. And I thought I should now really, really go full time in politics.
And what are you doing at the moment?
At the moment, I'm doing my own business, private business. I came up with a company called Menda, that is 3 years ago. Doing water sachets, something I'd been planning way back and it came to fruition, but that is now water under the bridge. I'm doing also real estate. I'm also doing quad bikes hiring.
Okay.
Yeah, just within here. Yeah, and general consultants.
All right. So you pretty much mentioned some of the things that could have led you to where you are now. But why did you select Maramba Livingstone has 2 constituencies. Why Maramba?
Initially, I was actually even, before they could demarcate, separate the two, I was thinking of the entire Livingstone. So I had been to Maramba, I had been to Namatama, Kasia farms there, where I even have interest in setting up a farm of my own. But then when it was time to do the filing in, because all of us were contesting and visiting all these 2 places, the officials had already given my colleague and my friend,
Okay.
Chirufyamuwa, this side. And I thought, let it be.
Okay.
It's one Livingstone.
All right.
I know people in Maramba, and some people in Maramba, they know me, and I have a lot of friends, and I see a lot of opportunities in Maramba. So I thought, why not Maramba?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been campaigning for a while now, and we just a few weeks away from the general election. What are the 3 top challenges that you've observed?
In my constituency?
Yes, in Maramba.
So the 3 challenges that I've noticed and I've experienced in Maramba is that, first of all, it's got the highest number of youths who are unemployed. Highest. And when I say highest, you can't walk 2, 3 houses minus finding these youths, not 1, not 2, but 4, 5, and they all complain about the same thing. Well, it shouldn't only be employment, but what to do. You know, they do not have what to do. So I do understand what an idle mind can do. The other one is more to do with sanitation. I went to some places where I've discovered that even places like Shungu, Kasia, some girl children, they find it difficult to get sanitary, towels for them to, but it becomes a challenge. And it's a quiet problem, but so loud. The third one is, of course, the issue of elephants. Okay. Especially in the areas like Shungu, Kariba, and the Nansans going that side. That is a challenge to them, and their lives are at stake. So these 3, of course there are many, but because they have asked me for 3, these are quite loud. Okay. Yeah, they are very loud.
Would those form the priority of things that you're planning for?
Amongst there, because there are many priorities. I can add things like the issue of drug abuse, which is huge. The issue of junkies, that is threatening the citizens of Livingstone, in particular in Maramba. The issue of them failing to speak. They feel like they are engulfed in some closure where they cannot speak freely, and they feel their rights have been trampled upon. So, yeah, that's one of the things that I would really, really want to push.
They're scared to speak with you, or is something you've noticed when they're trying to speak with others as well?
Yeah, it goes for both ways. They are failing. They can speak to me when you are speaking to them one-on-one, but they'll still say, please, Osani Kopa, don't record me. You're able to feel it. Why are you? No. I don't want to kunigwira. I don't want to be arrested and all those things. So the freedom is not openly expressed. And it's not a good thing for us politicians, because we need citizens to express themselves towards us and criticize us and correct us and give us advice. Now, as a politician who's working with these people in the public and they can't express themselves, I might feel I'm doing a correct thing.
Have you tried to find out why, the reason behind their fear to be seen, to express? Yeah. What are they saying? What are they scared of?
That's it. That's the most abused word, cyber. Okay. What about cyber? Of course, they can't explain it, some of them in detail, but they just know that if you say something like this, you'll be arrested. Cyber iriko. You understand? Okay. That is it. Even though...
Do you try to correct them, of course. To assure them?
Yeah, I tell them they need, what are the do's and the don'ts in them committing a crime or not committing a crime. So they understand, but still, this notion where you don't fully understand, and it goes with the wind in the community, and everyone takes it as a gospel truth. So you really have to do the dismantling. You really have to do a lot of education so that they understand. For example, some of them, they will even say, no, talking to you, I don't know whether you move with a gadget to record us and then you report us. I said, but what have you said? Have you said something wrong? No. Have you offended anybody? But don't get images when somebody hasn't consented to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, touching on the issue of cyber law, I want to extend it. You'll be a parliamentarian, should you be elected. Do you think the comprehension of things like cyber law extends to other provisions in different laws? That are people able to explain them, and have you been able to explain as you would as a member of parliament?
Of course, cyber law does not stand on its own. Of course, sometimes these are read together with other different laws. But my role as an aspiring candidate is to explain in details to these people, my people in my constituency, of course, the parameters where you can end and where you cannot, and how you can offend someone using the same law, and how you can avoid it. For example, in this interview I'm having, I'm wary that certain things I may not say if I cannot maybe substantiate. So equally to them, as they exist with each other in the community, they have to know that you just don't cook up a story and lump it on someone when you cannot substantiate. So it is so that is a thing to do with, thank God, with our manifesto in NRPUP, it is going to be removed. It's a first priority. Because when people can't understand it, how do they even obey it? Of course, they...
Yeah. I will curtail you on that one because the focus will go differently. Because from what I recall, this is a law that was actually there even before.
Yes.
So to speak to particular, perhaps phrases that should be taken out or modified might take a whole lot of interview.
No
I want to go back to the challenges that you mentioned: unemployment, water and sanitation, and the human wildlife conflict. What solutions are you proposing to these challenges?
Okay, thank you. Let me start with, first of all, the water and sewer system. You know, if you go to Kariba, Kavilawa, Simatovoro, and Mwalibonena, you find that the sewer lines are over 50 years. Now, they have gone surpassing their lifespan. And when you have a breakage, of course, there's a lot of sewer leakages in my constituency. And you find that maybe they just work on that place that has a problem there and then. But that is not the way to do. The correct way to rectify this problem is to completely overhaul the whole sewer system.
Okay.
To give it lifespan. Because it becomes more expensive if you keep on repairing and mending. But it makes sense if you overhaul the whole system so that the next 40, 50 years, you do not need to spend any more. Same with water. There's a lot of water leakages. And yet you go to other people's homes, there's no water coming from the taps. And that's not correct. We need to take care of this water. Every drop counts, and it's very important. This affects Swasco. Swasco is a good company that can earn good monies, and it can be an attractive company. But if they are not well sponsored, if their system is not well maintained, if they don't inject capital in it, the service will be compromised. People are complaining, why do we have brown water? Why do we have all this? We really need to put in the much needed capital so that everyone has that water. And when you have water, then people will pay for it nicely and the company will be making some revenue. When you go to the animal-human conflict, Unfortunately, that side in Maramba, that's where the corridor for elephants are. And the animals that we can just talk about are just elephants. Now, I have an organization that my friends are working for, and we have sat down to look at the remedies to mitigate this conflict. And one of them is we have to invest in education. You know, when you see an elephant in our compounds, they start calling it ule, ule. That's not correct, because you are making that unnecessary noise. They get stones, they start stoning, it will react. But when you start educating them the danger and making them understand, it will definitely help. Secondly, we have, when you get the droppings of an elephant itself, and you process and you mix it with chili, and you put in those trucks where they pass. If you know that an elephant passes here at 15 hours, it's likely maybe 14 or maybe slightly lower or slightly higher that it will pass. So you burn 3-4 hours before. It produces some form of tear gas.
Okay.
And you know an elephant is able to smell 5 kilometers from its position. Yeah. You're able to tell that.
Is it something that's currently being done?
We have done the experiments.
Okay.
And we have tried it.
Okay.
And once you put there, if the elephants, they are visible, even if they're from a distance, you burn it, they won't reach.
Okay.
Now, if you do that repetitively, you find that the elephants will never come, so you deter. The other thing is a business opportunity, which I love very much. I learned this through my Kenyan friend. So where the elephant will pass, you put what we call honeybees. You know, elephants and the bees, they don't mix. So it becomes a business opportunity. When you put that, you are deterring them to come through to the compounds, but at the same time, even any household in the compound can put honeybees. So even their mangoes will be safe when it's time for the mangoes or the fruits. So as long as they are deterring the elephants, the bees will be producing honey, and that becomes a business point.
Now, as you were talking about how to stop the elephants from getting into the communities, Maramba Constituency, being a part of Livingstone, derives a lot of opportunities from tourism.
Yes.
So the solutions that you're proposing, are they sensitive enough to ensure that, you know, they do not entirely disturb wildlife? Because with the disturbance of wildlife, then it would also disturb Livingstone's tourism.
Yes, we in Livingstone town generally we are known for tourism, of course, but not everyone lives off tourism itself, but indirect you may live off the same. It's a user friendly. No wonder we are not chasing them completely, but rerouting them so that they do not stamp through the compound.
Their corridor.
Exactly, that is all. So we are not chasing them, but we are changing their corridors so that they can pass the other way, where there are no people. They go to their route and they come back through the same, because we still want to watch them. We still want to see them.
Okay.
But we don't want them to endanger lives. So we would rather pick a human life than an animal. So but we are not discarding. We are putting a balanced decision between an animal and definitely the human.
Okay. So to the challenge you've mentioned of water and sanitation, I would add garbage is also an issue there.
Very much.
Maramba constituency, I think, has a lot of areas which are unplanned. And so that has led, I believe, to some of the challenges, especially for water and sanitation.
Exactly.
If you become Member of Parliament, how do you hope to address the issue of unplanned settlements?
Okay. First of all, it's difficult to change the mindset and tell them to say we are redesigning this place. Of course, it's very doable, but it's a very expensive venture to do. But meantime, we have to mitigate with the garbage issue, and my plan on that is that we need to source, for example, for tractors, maybe canters, so that we group these youths in the wards where they exist, so that we formalize, register them, so that they become garbage collectors. And when they collect the garbage, we have to identify a place deliberately. Yes, we have got where we take everything, all the debts, as you go to the weighbridge, but we can establish with the support and the guidance of the local council where we can be throwing in our constituency. But we are not going to be throwing. We have an idea there. We want now to separate these garbages so that we start utilizing them. They are plastics. We need to engage companies that will be, reusing these plastics, and we need to engage them. It becomes an employment opportunity. At the same time, we want to separate the foods so that we start producing our own gas and start filling cylinders, so that people can now be using gas instead of much of wood that would deplete our forest behind where there's Lux Hotel and everything. But we conserve the nature, but start producing gas. I've written a proposal on that one, and it's workable. We have done the experiment before.
For people that do not know Maramba constituency, any landmarks that you can provide for people to have a pictorial idea?
Okay. Those...
And even the names of the wards.
Okay, no problem. I would say those people who are coming from, let's say, Lusaka, you are entering Livingstone, and as you just enter, bypass the toll gate on your left, especially when you cross the rail, that is where we have Maramba constituency beginning from. That's actually even after the toll gate, but you go to Sons of Thunder, you go up there, you find that you are in Maramba constituency, Kasia area. So Kasia area is the furthest.
Okay.
Yeah, then as you come, you find there is Namatama, which has got a lot of registered voters, about 9,900. Then you come to the next place being Mwalibonena. Mwalibonena is close and opposite.
Those are wards. Those are names of wards.
The wards. Opposite, what do you call, Beta Police.
Okay.
Yes, and Beta Grounds, Namatama Grounds there. And then next you come, you find there is Mulungushu Ward. Mulungushu Ward is along Kaunda Road.
Okay.
Yeah, after the Mbita Market on the other side. That is, you may call it Malota. Yeah, then of course, if you push up, that is going to Ribuyu after the bridge.
Okay.
That's going to Ribuyu.
The bridge,
Ribuyu,
Maramba Bridge.
Maramba Bridge. Maramba Ribuyu Bridge. That is
Maramba constituency.
That is Ribuyu Ward.
Okay.
Up there. Of course, after that, there is now Simatobolo.
Okay.
Simatobolo is like you go further in Ngwenya, and as you're going to Lux Hotel, that side, the bushes.
Would you say majority of your constituency, the constituency you would like to lead, is rural or urban? What's the balance there?
Rural, not that much.
Okay.
Only Kasia and Shungu are more of rural. Urban, the rest of them, yeah. Just that they are populated, highly populated, and of course, it's in a compound setup.
Okay.
Yeah, majority of my constituency.
All right. So I would like to move now to CDF. It's one of the most spoken about tools for development and empowerment. But before I zero in on CDF, what other mechanisms of empowerment and development are you looking to utilize should you become Member of Parliament?
Okay, so the other mechanisms that are in place, of course, the idea of looking at the social responsibility is not so much tapped in Livingstone in general. You know, as much as we have investors here in Livingstone, I'll give an example. If you've been to Copperbelt, you remember mine areas, mine towns, you find that they have a serious, deliberate move to give back to the community, social responsibility.
For private organizations.
From private organization to the community. So that's how come, if you remember, in places like Chingora, Mufurira, and Dola, they have got sports complexes, they have got clubs. Why? Those are created to give back to the community. They built, constructed, and managed by the private entity that is earning money from that town to give back to the community. We do not have such in here. And one of my passion is to have a recreation center. And from where we are, railways, behind there, that's like just a place open where just elephants would pass and nothing has been built there. Now, think of it if we had to engage a private entity to come and invest so that they give back to the community that is giving them the much revenue they are earning from as people here in Livingstone. So it means I speak to them, I engage them, I tell them, this is what I'm proposing. And this will also give them the confidence and the good relationship between the local people and their businesses. That I am very passionate about, and I would want to create something like that.
All right, but is there anything else that you know of other than CDF as a government empowerment program and development program that you will tap into?
Of course, even the national development issues. I'm saying this because I'm very confident we are winning as NRPUP with Mundubile, and will speak more investment from the central government itself, because it should be a big fund and to develop. I will tap on what you said. It's a new constituency where we do not have these facilities like filling station, shopping malls, universities, and all those colleges and all that. So for a constituency to fully develop, we are going to engage government 100%. Having an opportunity.
Yes, but in engaging government, because ideally, even if the party, for example, does not win, as government, what other development and empowerment tools, similar, but perhaps not similar, but at least empowerment tools that are already provided for by government? Yeah. So, which ones to tap into?
There are many others. Of course, we have to look at the support we get from international organizations that are funding different certain projects deliberately. Like, for example, even the funding of the resolution between human animal conflict. That one is not falling under CDF. It's not falling practically under the government, but there are organizations that we have approached already who are helping with the funding. Tapping talent, there are also different UN organizations that also coming. So when you write a good convincing proposal, they see that it's workable, they'll definitely fund. So we are open to that.
All right, so what's your assessment of programs such as CEC, social cash transfer, and FISIP, briefly, and especially in relation to, as you're going around, are those government programs that people in your constituency, well, the constituency you may be leading, are those programs something that they talk about or are aware about?
If you talk of CEC, they do not talk about it. Few people, one or two, maybe in a ward, may talk about it because maybe they are exposed. The most common one is CDF. Highly talked about, like every minute. But CEC, I've applied myself before and I was not given. Probably I missed one or two things, but it's a good initiative. It's a good intention that should be encouraged, especially for businessmen and women. It works out well because mostly you find that it's collateral based and it gives a sense of responsibility that I have to pay back. This is not a grant. So I love the idea of us offloading CEC, and definitely I'll push it to the businessmen and women out there who want to expand their business. That would be good. FISIP. FISIP is a good program. It's a very good program, and that's the reason why we are saying we'll bring it in a reloaded form.
Okay.
In a reloaded form, in such that people should know what are they entitled to get as these farmers are preparing.
So the challenge that you've observed is that they don't know what comes with FISIP?
They know.
Okay.
But they do not depend on it.
Okay.
They don't depend on it like the people in Kasia who are practically farmers, totally different from Shungu and depending on curios. They will just say sometimes we resort to using the natural way of fertilizing our ground.
Okay.
Okay, which could be that they're using animal droppings. They could do mulching and everything.
Uptake, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you connecting that the uptake is not there because they already have other alternatives in your constituency?
Not that they would like to go with the alternatives they have, but just that they have no option. Remember, FISIP hasn't been pushed with in the past 5 years. Remember the challenges people have had. And that's the reason why we have put it as part of our manifesto, that we really have to reinforce it so that it helps these small-scale farmers. Yeah.
So my understanding is that they were cleaning up the system, and they have also digitized the payments and the challenges therein. So just to provide that as a caveat. And then in moving forward, now to zone in on CDF, should you be elected Member of Parliament, one of your roles will be that of a watchdog. Yes. Making sure that the executive delivers, and in the case of CDF, to see that the local council also delivers.
Yes.
Are there any plans that you have to see how CDF can be more impactful? Yeah.
One thing I noticed is that people do not have an idea how this selection is done, for example. It may interest you that I had to do a research as well because I'm a candidate for me to have an idea. So now, just imagine this, if it can happen to me. Now, what about the people there in my constituency? It's not true that CDF is not being given. But if you ask everyone out there, they'll say they give themselves. It is within UPND and not every citizen. When I went to the council, of course, I consulted, they gave me the printouts. I could see the projects. But how the question comes in, how is the selection being done? Do the people know about the process? Many people, they do not.
Okay.
Trust me on that one. So for me, one of the things that I want to do.
That's for CDF projects?
CDF.
Okay.
Yeah, because they will say we have been applying and we've been applying, but they don't consider us. Maybe they haven't met the parameters that are set, or maybe the type of projects that are supposed to be funded at that year, the priority will be in this sector, you understand? So that information is not communicated. So there is this CDF committee and the general populace. There's no communication, there's no thorough information that is being given to the community. Now, that brings a notion that CDF does not exist. CDF is a scam. CDF is selective to certain people who are close to the powers that be. So I would like to openly have a deliberate approach that informs the people in my constituency step by step. Town hall meetings are a must. So before they apply, we call for a town hall meeting. We explain to them, this is now the time to apply for CDF, and perhaps invite people from the committee to come and educate my people so that they fully understand, even as they are applying, and how to maybe do a demo, sort of, so that they understand. And then how they select, so that from the professional side, those people who are in the committee, they speak to my people. I know it will be like tedious, but we have to create time. It's part of what we are supposed to do so that the community is following through. Secondly, after the allocation, those names will be publicized. It's not everyone who will go to the website for Livingstone City Council to check. Some, they don't have even the phones to use. But how do we then put them in our group? It's by them being spoken to, explained to, so that they thoroughly understand these people have been given, these are the projects, so that even the people in the community, as they are moving and doing their works, they know that this project is a CDF project and this has to be completed. And they will be like watchdogs, they are monitoring as well. So monitoring won't just be done by me, but even all the citizens in my constituency in that particular area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on the issue of saying people not knowing and your admission that even you, it's only perhaps a few weeks ago that you were getting to know that. But there are public announcements. What do you think is the actual missing link? And also I'm interested, when you found out, when you got to the council and they gave you a list, are those things that you were able now to then see to say, oh, this then is a CDF project?
I don't know when you say public announcement, which public announcement? Maybe I'm not
radio and community meetings. Those actually happen in the wards.
And the people from the community, they don't know about those community meetings. That's what the problem is. Maybe it's not done thoroughly.
Okay.
You understand? That's the challenge they're having. No wonder they can just say, we don't know about CDF. Or some, they say it deliberately when they even are privy to it. But on the majority side, you find that they don't have an idea. But when I went and I was given a printout, by the way, the office I found did not even need to ask me for an ID and everything. He just knew that I'm interested in knowing about the CDF projects. And he gave me a seat professionally. I sat and he said, okay, can I send on your WhatsApp or can I do a printout? I said, I want a printout. He did the printout. After that, I started going around. And I would say, oh, they said solar lights. I went and observed. In the evening, they are on. And I'm happy, like, good.
Okay.
This is good. I'm confirming because it's my job. So that as I'm speaking and presenting my manifesto to the people of Maramba, I'm speaking facts, not to dent the previous leader in the name of doing politicking. No. That's not the kind of politics I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, so especially with your background in journalism, you've mentioned some of the things that you would do to make sure that, you know, people are aware of what is going on. So would that, in your view, call for maybe more resources in terms of publicizing? Where do you think that link is? Because I'm leaning on to the fact that, you know, when you're given the printout, you've also been able to check that, okay, what is being said is actually happening. Perhaps not to a scale that people imagine it is.
So, yes, I would want even, for example, social media to be dedicated to things that are very, very paramount to everyone. Look, we have got content creators. If I can sit down with them, engage them to say, in your word, you'll be helping out with information. As you do this, it's a matter of just providing few bundles for them, a transport money for them to go and see those things.
Okay.
And also engaging the community, even maybe publicizing and doing letters in churches so that these circulars are read and people know by the time they are going to church, they see a project, oh, this is a CDF. And they take it as their own. They take ownership. If anything, any damage, anyone is doing something bad to the project, they're the people to protest because they're informed. Okay. Yeah.
Should you be elected in Parliament, you're not only going to meet people from NRPUP, and neither are you going to meet people coming just from Livingstone. It will be from across the country.
Exactly.
And so your primary role in there will be to debate, to engage, to create laws and all of that. I would like to find out, from what you envision of yourself, how are you going to really stand up for Maramba constituency when you have more than 200 other constituencies obviously fighting for the same kinds of things that you'll be fighting for Maramba?
First of all, as a representative of people of Maramba, you really have to be very, very well informed with the challenges that Maramba is facing, and which may be similar to other constituencies. So therefore, you speak in that line, not because maybe if I belong to a ruling party, then I should be quiet. Would that resolve the issues that are in Maramba? No, definitely not. I need to speak. I need to ensure that I check the challenges from other constituencies. How are they resolving them? Some of them, and they don't need even the central government to come in. So if my fellow MP from a certain constituency has established an initiative, why not copy that? Good practices, come and implement it in my constituency so that my people will see the development quickly and rather than depending on one source of development, that being the central government. So I'm going to stand up because also I speak the truth. I speak loudly.
Okay.
I do research.
Okay.
I'm very competent in terms of debates.
Okay.
I sound convincing. Definitely, even if a minister wants to refuse funding my projects in Maramba, will be like, this guy is very forceful. The voice is there.
Okay.
It's not just the voice, but the mind, the intellectual reasoning is definitely at a good rate.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Now, coming to the challenges that you mentioned, when you analyze them, which of those challenges will require just your personal input, where you require the law to perhaps also be changed, and where you think the executive will need to be pushed much more? In terms of legislation, for instance, you mentioned the cyber law.
Yes.
And the plans that you have as a party.
Yes.
So in that realm, when you look at the challenges,
there are projects that I just need. For example, some of the projects, they don't need central government. They don't need CDF to do them. I'll give an example of the same repellent for the elephants. It is something that is doable. All these are valuable. Chilies are valuable. The droppings of an animal are valuable. The cup holders for the same mixture, it's something that one can remove from his own pocket and say, I'll spend the 5,000 to do this project, I'll spend the 20,000, and you do it. You do not need to wait for central government. And also changing the mindset for the youths. You have to invest in it. This is where you engage, for example, the church. You engage the influential people in the community. For example, if you go to places like Namatama, you find that these junkies have got their bosses.
Okay.
It's entirely up to you to investigate and find out.
They are organizations.
Their organization, yes, they are leaders. Start with their leaders. Start working with the police. The police have already got a system already on how to handle these people. DEC has got a system. It's a matter of just working with them. We have what we call DJOC. That's where the security wings come together and they work together. They already have a system how they work. You just simply put yourself there and listen to how they have planned it, carry out that duty in case they don't have fuel. Are you telling me central government we have to wait upon central government? No, okay. So the community comes in.
Okay, so from what I'm getting from you, for the challenges that you've outlined in terms of legislation, in terms of central government, that's provided for. So it's your energy that will... You combine what is provided for, because they may not have everything at their hand. Of course, they have the technical knowledge. But for implementation, it may take long. Maybe government for them to approve. But you use your initiative, that's why you are a leader in there. Exactly. Okay. All right. Now, a lot of times, and this has come up, it came up even in the Mayoral Series, it's come up even years before, where a majority of citizens feel when people are elected, they then move away from their constituents. What's your view? Should an MP be that readily available? Is there a job in the community, in Parliament or other areas? The job description for an MP is a bit tricky. If I had their way, I would extend it this way. If I had their way, I wouldn't have loved an MP to be appointed as a minister. If I had their way. Okay. I would love MPs to remain working in the constituencies. Why? Of course, they have to attend parliamentary session.
But what mechanisms do you put whilst you are attending Parliament? There has to be the system. For example, the office remains open, but the office is more like just receiving complaints, problems. We're not giving solutions. But this modern day and age, there's technology. You have to be in touch with your community even when you are in Parliament. After Parliament session, do you have time to call your constituency, their leaders, their WDCs who are partisans? Do you speak to them? Are you utilizing them? Because those, they will tell you as it is. They don't have to pretend, no, honorable, everything is okay. Them, they will say as it is. So you are in touch. And when it's a weekend, do you stay in Lusaka or do you travel? It's a must, you have to travel. Do you have community engagement? The way we are campaigning, we are speaking to them, promising them, putting them together. But even after you become an MP, do you continue to engage them in that manner?
Is that something you foresee?
That is what I will be doing. And we have stated, and I personally, I brought up a social contract where every 3 months we have to meet. And I'll be going word by word. The purpose of that meeting is to review our performances the past 3 months, and we plan how we are going to work. But also just to interact with them. They need to feel the ownership of this member of parliament, not to be seen after 5 years.
Okay.
Yes.
And you see it as doable because
very doable.
Before, like talking, nice,
yes.
But when it comes to
this one will be an example.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you belong to the NRPUP.
Yes.
We've seen previously where a party in authority may have suggestions of policies which you either personally do not agree with, or those that would disadvantage Maramba. What kind of relationship do you have with your president? And would you be able to stand up for Maramba if national policies come in conflict? Exactly.
The kind of relationship that I have with President Munduvile traces, I think, almost 11 years ago. I've been communicating, even when he was leader of opposition, I went to his home. We were talking about one of the situations of one of my kids, the one in China, one issue and everything. And President Munduvile came to guide and help. So we've been communicating very well, including the Vice President Makebi Zulu. So we have that rapport. And even when the time for like filing in and standing in Maramba, he personally spoke. Okay. He said, go for it. That's where you have grown up. That's where you have stayed. Your children were born there. Why not take advantage? Give back, because you have benefited. You told me that you went as a young professional in Livingstone and, working for these organizations I tabulated from the onset. And he says, go there. And so we have this rapport. And it was just, I think yesterday I did a TikTok video where I was encouraging to say completely wipe out this Kadaism of being violent, like wearing military attires. It should be completely be banned when you take over. And I said towards the end of that video, Mr. President, if you promise these people and you don't fulfill, I'll be the first one to criticize you in Parliament itself. Okay. And I won't even sugarcoat. I'll say, no, sir, this is wrong, and let us do a correct thing. All right. So whatever we have promised, the best is don't overpromise them if you can't do them. Okay. Promise things that you can now deliver. Okay. I'll share with you so that you watch it.
Okay, thank you very much. So say a year, 2 years from now, what should people expect to see in Maramba constituency? Because Mapulanga Kalungu is member of parliament.
What they should see, first of all, I want a very clean and healthy Maramba constituency. I want to show Livingstone Central that actually Maramba is a very clean constituency, number one. Number two, I want to see a shift where people can't walk freely in the evenings. in these areas. I want them to see after a year or two that now, those old days when we used to walk from Fairmount, you come to Gentemba at 0102 alone, should be brought back.
So security.
Security is a must do. And that one, I'm passionate about it. One more thing is the Maramba Livuyu Bridge. Remember, we are a new constituency, and therefore, if we want development, we have to have a reliable bridge. Many other times that has been flooded and people are failing to pass. And so we would like to ask people who are specialists in construction of bridges, if, for example, a bridge can start from Caritas up to almost the police on top there, and you make a reliable, strong bridge, that will stand a long time. Because once we have the flooding there, it means even if we opened chain stores that side, they won't be passing to deliver properly. So I'm quite passionate about it, and that it has to be created, and this has to be a marvel. It has to be an attraction at the same time. It has to be lit in the night. The stream has to be visible, and people should be watching it, even if it's flooding. So it's not only a reliable bridge, but also becomes an attraction and safety along the same stream, so that people do not have issues of, oh, maybe somebody was drunk and fell in there and failed to swim and all that. Okay. I want to clean it as well. You have to clean the stream because it's in the midst of the residential areas. So it has to be very clean and very attractive.
All right. Yeah. Now, for a lot of things that you've mentioned, these are things that we find in different development documents. What special element are you going to bring in to make sure that, since they're already planned for, perhaps not in the designs that you would like for them to be, how are you going to ensure that they actually do happen?
My job description is to lobby. Lobbying and knowing how to press your button from the powers that be so that they soften up is what I'm good at. And it's what I'm going to use so that I speak consistently to the president, to the vice president, so that this is implemented. Remember, people have been asking, like you have said, for this bridge. These are things they have been asking for a long time. Us putting just the rail holding and everything, that is not development. That's just trying to decorate. But they need a new one, and I'll be consistent about it. And I'll make sure that during my tenure as a member of parliament, that bridge is constructed. So definitely I'll be forceful, and because of the relationship I have with President Mundubire and President Makebizuru, definitely they will have to give me this, they'll have to listen, and they have to ensure that people of Maramba, they have a good, reliable bridge. Yeah.
No, thank you very much for coming here.
Thank you.
This has been an interesting episode of Local Pulse. We featured the NRPUP candidate for Maramba constituency. The idea, like I said at the very beginning, is to provide a contrast of ideas. So we hope the other candidates will also accord us the opportunity to conversate with them. My name is Mwenda Lubi Maombi. Thank you very much for the opportunity to shoot on location at Leo's, and also